Ladies who have never been in a relationship during your 20s, what's your story? Status: locked for moderator cleanup. The men I'm interested in aren't interested in me, and I'm not interested in the men who do show interest in me. I'm extremely introverted and shy, so I don't meet a lot of men in general. I've tried online dating, but I find it difficult to connect with anyone on it. I just find it difficult to connect with people in general. Making friends is already a challenge for me. I just don't click with a lot of people, and that includes potential romantic partners. It just never happened for me, yet. I have never been around many boys in any point of my life. In high school I was in an all-girls class. Now that I'm in med school, I don't really have a social life, and I'm not interested in any of the few guys who are in my class. I have never really been bothered about being single. In fact, I really enjoy being single. But I wonder how people actually meet other people to get into a relationship with. Even the most antisocial friends of mine have been in multiple relationships, and most of them are now married. My friends have gotten many proposals over the years from guys whom they've never even been around much. So now I'm at a point where I'm questioning if I'm not relationship material at all, or if I'm that unlikable. No one has ever shown interest in me or asked me out, and I don't know if I'd have the courage to ask a guy out even if I do meet someone that I like. Now people keep asking me about when I'm getting married, and they keep pity offering me to find someone for me. I do hope to find someone I like and someone who loves me, and I want to get married someday. But I don't know when that will happen, or if that will happen at all. I keep falling for people that can't be with me, don't like me. My early 20s were a dark time, and there was a lot of things I had to deal with that didn't leave any room for relationships. My late 20s coming to a close is finally getting better. I've finally learned how to be myself and to recognize toxic traits in people. There's also the issue of me coming to terms with being bisexual. I'm feeling very fortunate now that when I do meet the right person I'll be more confident. It's just never really happened for me. I'm naturally a very quiet and introverted person, so I don't really speak to many people, let alone go on dates. Also, it feels like everyone around my age are the same type of people, they all like the same type of music, do the same things, etc., and I've never liked any of it. I also don't want to settle. I've seen how some friends and family are treated by guys, and I just don't want that for myself. I'd rather be alone than be with someone who doesn't make me feel good about myself, upsets me, etc. It just never happened. Never found that someone that I saw myself wanting to spend years with without eventually getting tired of them. Almost at the end of my 20s, and I have never dated before. When I was young I wanted to marry before 30, but I don't think it's possible unless I meet someone this year, lol. I used to be sad that I don't even have a BF or anyone interested. My best friend have changed to BF. I used to be sad when I see FB post of friend getting engaged, married or have kids, but I choose to accept it. Just focus on my career and taking care of myself. Maybe I might find someone in my 30s. I am 26 and I never had a relationship. Mostly due to insecurity and anxiety. Also at the beginning of my 20s I started having health issues, and I didn't think anyone would ever want to date me, and I wouldn't want to burden anyone. I once heard a saying, something that goes like, why would you put a healthy head in a sick bed, and it really stuck with me since then. Why would anyone want that? And by that, I mean a relationship with me. I am trying to overcome those things, working on putting myself out there. I'm trying to work the courage to open an online dating profile. I'm *****, and it took me a long time to figure it out. I had a lot of messaging as a kid telling me to wait for the right guy, so there's that, I guess. Just took me till I was out of college to realize that no guy would be right. Well, as everyone knows, socializing gets a lot harder after you leave school, and I have never really developed dating skills, so even though I know the kind of person I'm attracted to, I don't really understand what to do about it. So here I am. 25, never had a relationship of any kind. Basically, I'm shy, incredibly cringy and very awkward. Also, I prefer to be alone. Just haven't met that person who shares my values, is single, and interested in me. I usually find 2 out of 3 checkboxes are ticked. Timing is such a big factor. It's crazy how much of a role it plays in a successful relationship. I chose to be single and abstinent until I was ready to date for marriage. In my late 20s, early 30s, my story is simply I chose to avoid the heartache, baggage, ill-aligned expectations that I witnessed when people entered relationships young, and how many women I met who gave up internships and opportunities for a boyfriend. I chose to enjoy my company and get myself an education and travel before I dated, and I'm glad that I did. Still in my 20s, but I feel slightly scarred from my college situationship. He was someone that I thought I might eventually date, but it ended up with me going to a crisis center during finals week, getting back together, and then officially ending when he chose to sleep with a friend of mine. We could be involved with whoever we wanted, but friends were off limit. I'm still dealing with the aftermath of that because, in my head, if that's what a relationship was going to be about, I don't want it. I'm trying to fight off those feelings so I can find meaningful romantic relationships, but it's been harder than I thought it would be. Ultimately, I'm starting to learn exactly what I'm worth, and that's been more important than being with someone just to say I have someone. I'm just ugly. I am asexual and aromantic. Broke up with my last boyfriend at 20 years old and learned about my asexuality. I was corrected at 24, but you can't bang asexuality out of someone. I no longer get involved because I'm just not interested. I'm 31 now and will spend my 30s developing myself. For a long time I thought there was something wrong with me or my perceived high standards, pickiness, but now I value my own company. Male attention, dating isn't the issue, but finding someone willing to commit is. Maybe I'm just dating trash men, but I also feel the bar is so low these days. Dating culture in 2020 means we're all accessible, but also hard to pin down since there's so many options. I'm just not interested in being on someone's rotation, and until I find someone I'm serious about, I dip as soon as I see red flags. I think I don't put myself out there too much and I'm picky. I also had medical issues for most of college and I didn't have a chance to really get out there. Have had about 3 flings that were basically boyfriends with no title, lol. Kinda self-conscious about it honestly, but whatever. I was focused on my studies when I was on college and had a great group of friends. I didn't felt the need to have a boyfriend until now that I finally graduated. I am a homebody and would rather stay at home, sleep, watch a movie or read rather than interact or to socialize with men. I am not a man-hater. I just enjoy my own company and my solitude. Spent my college years focusing so much on my studies that I never really met other people. Now I don't have many friends in my area and I'm too shy to go out and meet people. It doesn't help that I have poor body image and kept telling myself that I'd try to meet people when I lose 10 to 15 pounds and feel more attractive, which hasn't happened. Sheer laziness and extreme introversion, but mostly laziness, to meet people, to make an impression, to maintain relationship, etc. Somehow it felt like more trouble than it is worth. I am happy to Netflix and chill with my homies or even by myself. Hadn't met anyone I feel keenly enough to muster up the energy for it. Does that make me sound like a sociopath or psychopath or some other awful category of human being? Very selective. Have barely come across guys I found attractive. I'm in my late 20s now and have in my entire lifespan found only 2 guys attractive physically, emotionally and mentally, with progressive social values and who were kind. Was in an exclusive FWB arrangement with the first guy the first met at 20, it started as a physical casual relationship. I was deeply attracted to him from the get-go, we became friends and emotionally connected as we got to know each other better. But he didn't want a committed relationship. I fell in love with him, he didn't. Happens. We're still close friends. I thought I could never like anyone after that, but met another guy who I found to be very smart and he thought vice versa, we connected. He was married so nothing happened, we're just friends. We joked that if he wasn't we would totally have ended up dating. If nothing else, it was at least a sign for me that I could still be attracted to others after the first guy. Although, have not been able to like anyone else since. But also I don't feel the need to be in a relationship. I have friends for companionship. Plus I love solitude, I am an ambivert, and I find my head to be a very interesting place. It has never been something I have actively sought. Sometimes when I look around and see people focused on procuring a partner I think to myself, do they know something I don't? But most of the times I just listen to my own self.